Introduction. The power of habits. Every morning, as the alarm clock blares, we begin our day with a series of actions that feel deliberate but are often automatic. Do you reach for your phone to check emails, stumble to the kitchen for a cup of coffee, or lace up your sneakers for a run? Do you brush your teeth before or after your shower? These seemingly trivial choices, whether to grab a donut or a piece of fruit, to hit the gym or scroll through social media, form the fabric of our daily lives. As William James, the renowned psychologist, wrote in 1892, all our life, so far as it has definite form, is but a mass of habits. This profound observation underscores a truth that modern science has only recently begun to unpack. Habits govern much of our behavior, often without our conscious awareness. Research, such as a 2006 study by Duke University, reveals that over 40% of our daily actions are not the result of deliberate decisions, but ingrained habits. These automatic behaviors, from the way we tie our shoes to the routes we drive to work, shape our health, productivity, financial stability, and happiness. While each habit may seem insignificant in isolation, their cumulative impact is profound. Philosophers like Aristotle, media moguls like Oprah Winfrey, and scientists alike have long pondered the nature of habits. But only in the last 2 decades have researchers and marketers begun to unravel their mechanics and, more crucially, how to change them. In The Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg masterfully distills this science into a compelling narrative, blending rigorous research, case studies, and real-world examples. From experiments with rats to transformations at companies like Starbucks and Target, Duhigg leaves no stone unturned in exploring how habits work and how we can harness them to reshape our lives. This book is not just a theoretical treatise. It's a practical guide to understanding the choices we once made deliberately that have since become automatic, and how we can rebuild those patterns to achieve our goals. In this expanded exploration, we'll dive into the science of habits, unpacking Duhigg's key insights and offering actionable strategies to create, change, and sustain habits. We'll explore the habit loop, the role of Keystone Habits, the golden rule of habit change, and the power of belief and community. Whether you want to exercise regularly, eat healthier, or boost your productivity, this guide will equip you with the tools to take control of your habits and, by extension, your life. Let's begin with the first big idea: how habits emerge. Chapter 1. How habits emerge. At the core of habit formation lies a simple yet powerful principle. The brain is always seeking ways to save effort. This drive for efficiency is not a flaw, but an evolutionary advantage. As Duhigg explains, habits, scientists say, emerge because the brain is constantly looking for ways to save effort. Left to its own devices, the brain will try to make almost any routine into a habit, because habits allow our minds to ramp down more often. An efficient brain consumes less energy, requires less physical space, leading to smaller heads, which ease childbirth in early humans, and frees up mental resources for higher-order tasks like problem-solving, creativity, and innovation. This efficiency is evident in the mundane routines of daily life. Consider how you back your car out of the driveway or brush your teeth. These actions, once learned through conscious effort, now occur with minimal thought, allowing you to focus on planning your day or solving a work problem. By automating repetitive behaviors, the brain conserves energy for inventing tools, building societies, or in modern times, designing airplanes and video games. To understand how habits form, Duhigg draws on groundbreaking research conducted at MIT in the 1990s. Scientists placed rats in a T-shaped maze with a piece of chocolate at one end, aiming to study brain activity during habit formation. Tiny microsensors were inserted into the rats' brains to monitor neural patterns as they navigated the maze. Initially, The rats exhibited high mental activity, sniffing, scratching, and pausing as they explored the unfamiliar environment. Their brains were working overtime, processing every detail to find the chocolate. However, as the rats repeated the maze over multiple trials, something remarkable happened. They sniffed less, scratched less, and paused less, moving through the maze faster with each run. Brain scans revealed a corresponding decrease in mental activity. As the route became familiar, the rats' brains relied less on conscious processing and more on automatic patterns. This shift was driven by the basal ganglia, a primitive brain structure that stores and recalls habits, allowing the rest of the brain to go quiet during routine tasks. This process, known as chunking, is the foundation of habit formation. The brain takes a sequence of actions, tying shoelaces, driving to work, or making coffee, and converts it into a single, automatic routine. Chunking explains why you can perform complex tasks like driving while daydreaming, or why you instinctively reach for your phone when you hear a notification ping. By chunking behaviors, the brain creates shortcuts that save time and energy, making habits an essential part of human survival and progress. The takeaway: habits emerge because the brain is wired to prioritize efficiency. By understanding this, we can begin to manipulate the processes that create habits, turning effortful actions into automatic routines that serve our goals. Chapter 2. The Habit Loop. At the heart of every habit lies a three-step neurological process that Duhigg calls the habit loop. This loop consists of 1. Cue, a trigger that signals the brain to switch into automatic mode and select a specific habit. 2. Routine, the behavior itself, which can be physical, e.g., running, mental, e.g., worrying, or emotional, e.g., feeling anxious. 3. Reward, the outcome that reinforces the habit, helping the brain determine whether the loop is worth repeating. The habit loop is universal, governing behaviors as simple as brushing your teeth and as complex as compulsive shopping. To illustrate, consider a common morning habit: drinking coffee. The cue might be waking up and feeling groggy. The routine is brewing and drinking coffee, and the reward is the jolt of energy and mental clarity. Over time, this loop becomes so ingrained that the mere act of waking up triggers an automatic craving for coffee. Duhigg's exploration of the habit loop draws on the MIT rat experiments, which showed how cues and rewards shape behavior. In the maze, the cue was the starting point, often accompanied by a click sound. The routine was navigating the maze, and the reward was the chocolate. As the rats learned to associate the cue with the reward, their brains began anticipating the chocolate as soon as they heard the click, driving them to complete the routine faster. This loop operates in humans with striking similarity. For example, Duhigg recounts the story of Lisa Allen, a woman who transformed her life by understanding her smoking habits loop. Her cue was stress or boredom. Her routine was smoking a cigarette, and her reward was a sense of calm and stimulation. By identifying this loop, she was able to replace the routine, substituting jogging for smoking, while keeping the same cue, stress, and reward, calm and stimulation. This substitution led to a cascade of positive changes, including weight loss, a new career, and a marathon finish. The habit loop is not just a scientific curiosity. It's a practical framework for creating and changing habits. To form a new habit, you must deliberately design a cue, routine, and reward that work together. For example, if you want to start running every morning, you might choose a cue, placing your running shoes by the door, a routine, jogging for 30 minutes, and a reward, a post-run smoothie. The key is consistency, repeating the loop until it becomes automatic. Chapter 3. Crafting Cues and Craving Rewards. While the habit loop provides a blueprint, creating lasting habits requires more than just a cue and a reward. As Duhigg notes, Only when your brain starts expecting the reward, craving the endorphins or sense of accomplishment, will it become automatic to lace up your jogging shoes each morning. This craving is the secret sauce that transforms a routine into a habit. To build a craving, the cue must be simple and consistent, and the reward must be desirable enough to spark anticipation. For instance, if your goal is to exercise daily, a vague cue like sometime in the morning is too ambiguous. Instead, choose a specific trigger, such as after brushing my teeth or when my alarm rings at 6 a.m. Similarly, the reward must be immediate and tangible. A long-term goal like better health is motivating but too abstract to drive daily behavior. Instead, opt for a reward you can enjoy right away, like a favorite podcast during your workout or a piece of dark chocolate afterward. Duhigg illustrates this with the example of Febreze, a product that initially flopped because it lacked a clear reward. Procter & Gamble reformulated Febreze to include a pleasant scent, creating a sensory reward that users craved after cleaning. Sales skyrocketed as people began associating the act of spraying Febreze, routine, with the cue of a messy room and the reward of a fresh smell. This case underscores the importance of engineering a reward that feels satisfying and worth pursuing. Actionable steps. 1. Identify a habit you want to create, meditating daily. 2. Choose a specific cue, right after pouring your morning coffee. 3. Define a clear, immediate reward, 5 minutes of reading a favorite book. 4. Focus on the reward before the routine to build anticipation. Visualize how relaxing it will feel to read after meditating. By designing a loop that triggers a craving, you make the habit stickier, increasing the likelihood that it will become automatic. Chapter 4. The Golden Rule of Habit Change. Changing an existing habit is often harder than starting a new one, but Duhigg offers a powerful principle, the Golden Rule of Habit Change. This rule states, you can never truly extinguish bad habits. Rather, to change a habit, you must keep the old cue and deliver the old reward, but insert a new routine. By preserving the cue and reward, you leverage the brain's existing wiring, making change easier and more sustainable. Duhigg illustrates this with the story of Tony Dungy, a legendary NFL coach who transformed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by applying the Golden Rule. When Dungy joined the team, the players were talented but inconsistent, often crumbling under pressure. Rather than overhauling their entire playbook, Dungy focused on changing their routines while keeping the cues, game situations, and rewards, winning, the same. For example, he trained players to react to specific visual cues, e.g., an opponent's stance, with faster, simpler routines, reducing hesitation. This approach led to a dramatic turnaround, culminating in a Super Bowl victory. The Golden Rule is equally effective in personal life. Consider a habit like stress eating. The cue might be feeling overwhelmed at work. The routine is snacking on chips, and the reward is temporary relief. To change this habit, keep the cue, stress, and reward, relief, but replace the routine with a healthier alternative, like a 5-minute walk or deep breathing. Over time, the new routine satisfies the same craving, rewiring the habit loop. Actionable steps. 1. Identify a habit you want to change, e.g., biting your nails when nervous. 2. Pinpoint the cue, e.g., feeling anxious, and reward, e.g., distraction or relief. 3. Experiment with a new routine that delivers the same reward, e.g., squeezing a stress ball. 4. Practice the new loop consistently, adjusting as needed based on what feels rewarding. The Golden Rule emphasizes that habits are malleable, not fixed. By working with the brain's natural tendencies, you can transform even deeply ingrained behaviors. Chapter 5. The Power of Belief and Community. While the habit loop and Golden Rule provide a framework, Lasting change often requires an additional ingredient: belief. As Duhigg writes, for a habit to stay changed, people must believe change is possible. And most often, that belief only emerges with the help of a group. Belief in the possibility of change fuels motivation, and groups provide the support and accountability needed to sustain it. Duhigg highlights Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, as a prime example. AA's 12-step program is built on the power of community, bringing together individuals who share a common struggle. By attending meetings, sharing stories, and mentoring others, members reinforce their belief that sobriety is achievable. The final step, helping a newcomer, solidifies this belief by demonstrating that change is not only possible, but replicable. This principle applies beyond addiction. A gym buddy can make workouts more consistent, a book club can encourage regular reading, and a mastermind group can boost entrepreneurial success. Groups create a sense of belonging and shared purpose, making it easier to stick with new habits during moments of doubt or temptation. Actionable steps. 1. Identify a habit you're working on, eating healthier. 2. Find a group with similar goals, a cooking class or online nutrition forum. 3. Engage actively by sharing your progress and supporting others. 4. Reflect on how the group's encouragement strengthens your belief in change. Belief, amplified by community, transforms habits from fleeting experiments into enduring lifestyles. Chapter 6. Keystone Habits. The Domino Effect. Not all habits are created equal. Some, known as Keystone Habits, have the power to spark a chain reaction, transforming multiple areas of life. As Duhigg explains, some habits matter more than others in remaking businesses and lives. These are keystone habits, and they can influence how people work, play, live, spend, and communicate. Keystone habits are like the 80-20 rule applied to behavior. A small change in one area can lead to outsized results elsewhere. For example, research shows that making your bed every morning correlates with higher productivity throughout the day. Similarly, families who eat dinner together tend to raise children with better grades and stronger emotional bonds. These habits don't directly cause success, but they create a structure that fosters other positive behaviors. Duhigg illustrates this with the story of Paul O'Neill, the former CEO of Alcoa. When O'Neill took over, he focused on a single keystone habit: improving workplace safety. By making safety a priority, he reshaped Alcoa's culture, leading to better communication, efficiency, and profitability. Safety wasn't just a goal. It was a catalyst that transformed the entire organization. In personal life, exercise is a common keystone habit. Regular workouts often lead to better eating, improved sleep, and increased confidence, creating a ripple effect. Similarly, tracking expenses can spark financial discipline, affecting saving, investing, and spending habits. Actionable steps. 1. Reflect on your life and identify a potential keystone habit, daily journaling. 2. Consider how this habit could influence other areas, clearer thinking, better planning. 3. Commit to practicing the habit for 30 days, tracking its impact on other behaviors. 4. Adjust as needed to maximize the domino effect. By focusing on keystone habits, you can achieve exponential results with minimal effort. Chapter 7. Making keystone habits stick. To harness keystone habits, you must integrate them into the habit loop and sustain them over time. Duhigg emphasizes that strengthening willpower in one area, such as exercise or budgeting, spills over into other domains. This willpower muscle grows stronger with practice, making it easier to adopt additional positive habits. Let's revisit the habit loop to design a keystone habit. Suppose your keystone habit is waking up early to exercise 5 days a week. Your old habit loop might look like this. Cue: hitting snooze when the alarm rings. Routine: sleeping in and missing the gym. Reward: extra rest. To create a new loop, you could design Q. Setting your alarm for 5:30 a.m. and placing it across the room. Routine. Getting up immediately and exercising for 45 minutes. Reward. A delicious protein shake or the satisfaction of logging your workout. The key is to make the cue unavoidable, physically getting out of bed to turn off the alarm, and the reward something you genuinely crave. Over time, the habit becomes self-reinforcing, and the increased energy and confidence from exercise spill over into other areas, like work performance or healthier eating. Actionable steps. 1. Choose a keystone habit, meditating for 10 minutes daily. 2. Define your old habit loop, cue, routine, reward, and its limitations. 3. Design a new loop with a clear cue, routine, and craveable reward. 4. Track your progress for at least 21 days, noting any ripple effects. Consistency and intentionality are critical to making keystone habits stick. Chapter 8. The Malleability of Habits. The overarching message of the power of habit is that habits, no matter how entrenched, are malleable. As Duhigg writes, every habit, no matter its complexity, is malleable. The most addicted alcoholics can become sober. The most dysfunctional companies can transform themselves. A high school dropout can become a successful manager. However, change requires conscious effort and a willingness to take responsibility for your behaviors. To modify a habit, you must 1. Identify the loop, pinpoint the cue, routine, and reward driving the behavior. 2. Find alternatives. Experiment with new routines that satisfy the same cue and reward. 3. Believe in change. Cultivate optimism, often through community support. 4. Commit to the process. Accept that change is hard work but within your control. Duhigg's book is filled with stories of transformation, from individuals overcoming addiction to companies like Starbucks instilling discipline in employees through habit-focused training. These examples underscore that habits are not destiny. They are tools we can shape to align with our aspirations. Actionable steps. 1. Choose one habit to change or create, reducing screen time before bed. 2. Map out its habit loop and propose a new routine. 3. Enlist a friend or group for accountability. 4. Reflect weekly on your progress, celebrating small wins to reinforce belief. Conclusion. The freedom and responsibility of habit change. Habits are the invisible architecture of our lives, guiding our actions in ways we often don't notice. As Duhigg eloquently states, once you understand that habits can change, you have the freedom and the responsibility to remake them. This freedom comes with a challenge: to take control of the cues, routines, and rewards that shape your behavior and align them with your goals. Whether you want to run a marathon, save for retirement, or simply make your bed every morning, the science of habits offers a roadmap. By understanding the habit loop, leveraging keystone habits, applying the golden rule, and tapping into belief and community, you can transform your life one small change at a time. The power of habit is not just in its automaticity, but in its potential to be reshaped, giving you the tools to build the life you envision. So what's your next step? Pick a habit, design a loop, and get to work. The only limit is your willingness to begin.